Hi, welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner, and on this episode we're going to be making sushi. And we're going to rethink sushi all the way. It's not going to be raw fish, which is sushi. It's going to be anything and everything you have. If you have strawberries, great. If you have carrots, great. If you have celery, great. If you have a pear, great. It's whatever you have. You can put, I have a little bit of sausage I'm going to be making, sausage and cheese. So it's a little bit, it's something you make. You don't want to make this full time because it is very expensive. This is a little bag of sushi rice. That's the brand. That's the brand I use. And this is about a $14 bag, $14.95. Well, the key is, you don't buy this bag to use it all in one setting. You use it when, you want to change up what you're eating. Let's say you've had maybe 3 weeks of eating and you hear scratching, which is my cat. If you can hear that, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go on. Anyway, she is noisy. Anyway, back to my train of thought, is you want to have this when let's say you're at the end of your food, whatever you've bought, right? And let's say you don't have very much in there, but you need something that gives you that little extra kick. Sushi will do it. Believe me. You need about 2 cups of sushi rice, which is right here. And it's gonna look really different from regular rice. It's gonna have like it's not gonna be long like jasmine rice. I hope you can see that. But it has like a squat. They're little fat, little pieces of grain. Okay. Oh well, now you're thinking, well, wait a minute. The sushi mat's going to be too expensive. $2. It depends where you look. Sometimes you can find these mats. If you're going to go to a specialty store, you're probably going to be walking out going, why did I get that? But if you look at the right places, like I said, my rolling pin. $2. You don't need to buy a rolling pin that's $54.95 and made of mahogany and it has brass rings on it. That's nice if you can afford it. Great, but my little rolling pin just now I'm stuttering. That little rolling pin does just as well as the mahogany one, and you don't have to worry about damaging it because it's $2. This again is also very expensive. Here is nori, and this is the sushi, the seaweed you're going to be used to rolling it. Get a slice out, and you can see it's green and got a little bit, but that's okay. That again, it's also very expensive. Now this is something you have. I think I'm going to explain in my blog on my Google Plus site that you always want to get something. I'm not saying go out and just buy everything you see. This is something you get one item every time you go shopping, because not a lot of people have that much money. They can just go out and go, hey, I'm going to get a package, 5 pounds of shrimp, 5 pounds of lobster, a whole bunch of stuff. You don't want to do that. That's not rational. You want to get 1 or 2 items at a time, so it's reasonable. You want to have a drawer. You want to stick it in there. It's like I have my balsamic vinegar that I have. I don't use it very much. It's not something you want to use all the time. And let me get something out of the refrigerator. You're also going to need rice vinegar, unflavored. This is just going to be, this is the brand I use. And you're just going to need it, no flavor. And you can look around and you can see things on your screen that you haven't seen there before. What the heck is that? Okay, sorry, I just got distracted. I was like, why is there a circle on my screen? Okay, dust. You can get distracted while you're making a cooking show. That's what you can do. Okay, so this is what you're going to need too. And again, buy the sushi. This is everything within moderation to what your budget is. Don't go out there and just all of a sudden just start buying everything all at once. Now, if you can buy everything at once, great for you. But if you can't buy one item at a time, stash it away. Stash it away. And then when you have a bad run and you're like, God, I'm hungry, but I don't want this and I don't want that. Sushi is something that you can just throw together. It's so easy, and it just changes things up, because if you eat the same thing over and over and over, it gets boring after a while. You want to spice up your choices, and then this is something you have only once in a while. So when you do have it, it's a treat if you like it. Here's our grease protector for you put on your pants to keep the grease. Well, this is what I use, because in the process of making sushi, you want to dry the rice. You don't just clean it, you put it in. You want to get a cookie sheet like this, and then take about some paper towel on top of it, or a clean dish rag, put it on top of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on top of here. When we're done cleaning the sushi rice, we're going to layer the sushi rice over here, so the water goes through this, and you're just going to roll it around with a spatula, and then you're going to leave it for 15 minutes to dry. The water will go through, and you'll have nice and dry sushi to put into the pan to add the water. That's just part of the process. So, and then you're also going to need another dish. Now, if you're a traditional sushi person, you're going, what the heck is she doing? Glass! You don't use glass. Well, some of us don't have the money to spend on expensive things. So you use whatever you got. This will work just fine. Now, traditional sushi wooden bowls absorb the water. This isn't going to absorb the water, but it will do just fine, and you'll be surprised how good your sushi is going to come out. Oh yeah, one more thing. Plastic bag. The plastic bag, you see where I shop, goes over your sushi mat when you put it down, and then after it goes over your sushi mat, you put your nori. Am I saying it right? Nori seaweed. Let's just call it seaweed. Put your seaweed right on top of the plastic bag, so when you're rolling your sushi, you don't get this dirty, because this, if you do get rice, okay, one thing about sushi rice, it is concrete. Do not let it dry. After you're done and you make all your sushi, make sure everything is clean, because this stuff gets as hard as a rock when it dries out. It's surprisingly hard. And let's see if I've gotten everything. So that's just some tips. So we're going to put the 2 cups, and you're going to want to wash this until the water is clear. So it's going to have a lot of starch on it. So just run it under the water, like I'm going to do now. And it's going to take some time. Another thing I suggest, get a whisk. Whisk it. And if you have a if you have one of these, that's great, but you don't have to have one of these. Just gently pour the water off. Let me show you what the water looks like. Now see, okay, where's the sushi? Where's the rice? It looks like just white liquid, right? So you want to make sure you pour that off. Now what I do is I like running my hand through it, because you don't want to lose any of the rice, and that helps you feel if you're going to lose any, or just, a safety precaution. So it takes about, I'd say, about a good 6 times, 7 times to really get that starch off there. Okay, then I'm going to show you putting it on the... Okay, I'm losing some. Okay, then I'm going to show you how to put them some time onto the cookie tray with the, okay, this is looking a lot better. Okay. Can you see the, well, it is clearer, and it still looks a little bit whitish, but it can be even more cleaner. But for time's sake, now, it doesn't have to be pure clean. I mean, it doesn't, you don't have to see clean, not like a sterile. We're going for a clear look, not like, you're not going to be here all night just cleaning sushi. Okay, now get a lid. This is what I usually do. Get a lid. And make sure when you do this, just to tilt it so none of the rice, don't have any of the rice fall out, because you want to get as much as that water off. Okay, now this is the fun part. And I'm going to turn it a little bit. Itch on my nose. Okay, this is the really fun part. Okay, here's the cookie tray with the paper towel. Okay, and then what you do is you get a spatula. Well, let me show you what I do. And this is a little bit experience. Be careful. But I take it and I turn it upside down over the sink. So don't do this, because I have, yeah, like you see, you have to just be really careful. And usually I'm not talking, lost some of it. Okay, and a little bit more water will come through the thing. Okay, now we're gonna sit back over here. And I lost a little bit, no big deal. Okay, look for that spatula. Okay, take the spatula, scrape out all the rest. And again, you don't have to do that. I do that sometimes when I'm making more than just 2 cups, and it helps get the water out, but I wouldn't suggest it, because there's something to losing a little bit. Now, look how I'm spreading out. I'm spreading it out on the tray, and we're going to leave that for 15 minutes. And as you can see, it's already starting to absorb water underneath, so I will be back, and this will require maybe a couple videos, and we'll make sushi. Okay, toodles!